Hello and welcome to my channel, Surviving Divorce as a Man. I'm Godwin and today I want to talk to you about the rules of divorce. While we do not condone or encourage divorce, we understand that sometimes it may be necessary due to a lack of effort from one partner and clear warning signs of an impending disaster. This guide aims to assist in making the process as smooth as possible. It's important to be prepared as the aftermath of an unanticipated separation, particularly when your spouse is falsely accusing you to gain an advantage in legal proceedings, can be devastating. Now I know that divorce can be a difficult and overwhelming process, but I've developed several rules that have helped me to come out on top in a winning situation. Divorce rule number 1, if you want it, keep it. It's important to protect yourself and your assets during this time. One key rule to keep in mind is that if you want to keep something, you should make sure to keep possession of it. This means that if you want to keep the family home, you should not voluntarily move out. If you want custody of your children, you should make sure to stay with them. And if you have a particular item that you want to keep, such as a prized possession like a bike, you should take it with you. Additionally, it's important to be proactive in protecting your possessions. If you are leaving the family home, or if your partner is leaving the family home, make sure to put your valuables in a safe location where they cannot be taken by your partner. This will make it easier for your lawyer to argue for you to keep those items, rather than trying to take them away from your partner and give them to you. Remember that early temporary possession of an item can often become permanent possession. So, if you want to keep something, make sure you have possession of it from day one. This rule can help you to make sure that you are able to keep the things that are important to you during the divorce process. Divorce rule number 2, do not waste time when you're with your lawyer. Divorce can be a complex and overwhelming process. Make the most of your time with your lawyer in order to achieve the best possible outcome. One key rule to keep in mind is to not waste time when you're with your lawyer. Legal advice can be costly, so it's essential to be prepared and concise during your meetings to ensure that you get the most value for your money. When you first visit your divorce lawyer, be prepared to discuss your specific questions and concerns related to the divorce process. Make a list of these questions and concerns before your meeting to ensure that you don't forget anything important. Additionally, be prepared with a list of your assets and debts, as well as what is most important to you in the divorce, so that you can have a productive and focused discussion with your lawyer. Your lawyer's time is valuable and expensive, so be clear and concise in your communication. Avoid chit-chat or telling your life story, as it will only add to the cost of your legal advice. Instead, focus on the issues that are most important to you and your priorities in the divorce. Take notes during the meeting and be sure to listen to your lawyer's advice. This will help you to get the most out of every money you spend on legal fees and will help you to achieve the best possible outcome in your divorce. Divorce rule number 3, think and plan. Divorce, like marriage, can be a significant financial and emotional undertaking, and it's important to think and plan carefully before making any decisions. When considering divorce or responding to a divorce initiated by your spouse, it's crucial to make a plan and consider all of the various aspects of the divorce process. This includes thinking about where you will live, how custody of your children will be handled, what a reasonable visitation plan might look like, and what support is fair for both parties. It's also important to research your retirement options and to prepare a detailed list of all of your property, assets, and debts. This will help you to make a fair division of property and debts that is reasonable and that a fair person would agree to. It's essential to prioritize what is most important to you and to decide which issues are non-negotiable for you. Additionally, consider your spouse's priorities and what they might be willing to compromise or fight for. It's important to remember that you cannot win everything on every issue, so be realistic and to come up with a plan that is fair and reasonable for both parties. The better prepared you are, the better your chances of getting a favorable outcome in your divorce. Make a detailed list of all your property, assets, and debt. Be thorough and think about what you believe is a fair division. Not absolutely everything you want, but a reasonable division that a fair person would agree to. This will help you to achieve the best possible result in your divorce. Divorce rule number 4, file first. Filing first can be advantageous for the person who initiates the divorce by filing a petition with the court and having it served on their spouse. This person is known as the petitioner. While some may be hesitant to initiate the divorce process, there are several advantages to being the petitioner. For example, by filing your petition for divorce and motion for temporary orders first, you are able to frame the issues for your divorce and state your position on each issue first. This means that the court will read your documents first and your lawyer will speak first. This gives you the opportunity to present your side of the story and to set the timetable for the hearings. Additionally, by filing first, you are able to control the pace of the divorce proceedings, and your spouse is forced to play catch-up on the issues that you have raised and on the timetable you have set. This can give you an advantage in the divorce process. It is important to note that filing first does not guarantee a favorable outcome in the divorce, but it does provide an advantage in the process. Remember that the process of divorce is complex, so take the time to think and plan your next steps before starting the process. And if you do decide to start the process, filing first can give you an advantage by allowing you to frame the issues, state your position on each issue, and set the pace of the process. Divorce rule number 5, temporary orders become permanent. It's important to take initial temporary orders seriously, as they have a tendency to become permanent. It's a common misconception that temporary orders in a divorce are not important and that they will change later on in the process. However, this is not the case, and it's crucial to thoroughly prepare for the initial hearing and to achieve everything you can in those initial temporary orders. During the divorce process, it's possible to lose the initial round of temporary orders, and the court may make decisions that are not in your favor. If this happens, it can be difficult to convince the judge to change their mind and grant you what you want in the final hearing. This puts you in a disadvantageous position, and it's much harder to recover from a loss than to defend a win. It's important to remember that the initial temporary orders hearing may be the final result, and it's essential to prepare for it as if it were the final hearing. This means that you should gather all the necessary evidence, prepare your arguments, and be ready to present your case in a clear and convincing manner. By preparing thoroughly, you can increase your chances of achieving a favorable outcome in the initial temporary orders hearing and avoid having to recover from a loss later on in the process. Divorce rule number 6, don't say to your wife what you don't want to be repeated to the judge. It's important to be mindful of what you say to your soon-to-be ex-spouse during the divorce process. Everything that you say to your spouse can be used as evidence during and after the divorce, and it's essential to think before you speak. Words can be taken out of context and can look bad when repeated in court. To avoid this, it's best to walk away or hang up the phone if a conversation is becoming heated or unproductive. Additionally, it's crucial to avoid writing emails or letters to your spouse that you wouldn't want the judge to read. This includes being mindful of what you post on social media, as it can also be used as evidence in the divorce proceedings or during the modification process. When going through a divorce, it's important to be aware of the impact that your words and actions can have on the outcome of the process. It's best to avoid giving your spouse any hostile evidence to use against you by being careful of what you say, write, or post on social media. This can help you to maintain control of the narrative and to avoid any negative consequences that could hurt your case. Divorce rule number 7, lead the life that you say you lead. It's important for your actions and conduct during the divorce process to match what your lawyer is telling the court that you want and that you are doing. This means that you should be consistent in your actions and conduct throughout the divorce process and avoid saying one thing to the court and then doing another. For example, if you are seeking custody or equal time with your children, it's essential to commit to spending that time with them now by being available and not missing or being late for visitation. Similarly, if you are arguing that you cannot afford the demands of your spouse, it's important to be consistent with that argument by not engaging in activities that would suggest otherwise, like buying a new car or going on a vacation during the divorce. It's important to remember that your lifestyle and conduct during the divorce process is a key factor in the court's decision-making process. Your wife may point out any inconsistencies between what you say in court and what you actually do. Therefore, it's crucial to make sure that your lifestyle and conduct during the divorce match your divorce pleadings to avoid any negative consequences. Your lifestyle is your best evidence during divorce, so make sure that it aligns with what you are telling the court. Divorce rule number 8, do not lie. It's important to be truthful during the divorce process, even when there is pressure and financial and custody matters are at stake. Lying can be tempting, but it's important to avoid it as it can have serious consequences. Lies can come back to bite you, and the truth will always surface. When the court finds out that you lied about one fact, they will not believe you when you're telling the truth about other facts. This will damage your credibility and can work against you in the courtroom. By trying to bend the truth to your advantage, you will also give your spouse credibility in the courtroom and you might be helping her to beat you. It's important to remember that honesty is always the best policy during the divorce process. Facing the truth and dealing with it head-on may be difficult, but it will be better for you in the end. Being truthful, transparent, and upfront with the court will help you to maintain your credibility and will give you a better chance of achieving a favorable outcome in your divorce. Divorce rule number 9, let it go. It's important to move on once the divorce process is final. Holding on to the past and dwelling on the outcome of the divorce will only hold you back from moving forward and enjoying your life. It's important to recognize that you've lost what you've lost and won what you've won and that you cannot change the outcome by dwelling on it. Moving on from the divorce process is not easy and it takes time, effort, and self-reflection. It's important to process the emotions that come with the end of a marriage and to practice self-care and self-compassion during this time. It may be helpful to seek support from friends, family, or a therapist. Life is not defined by the divorce and that you have a great life to live. The end of the marriage marks the beginning of a new chapter in your life, and it's important to take the time to heal, reflect, and look forward to the future. It's essential to let go of the past, focus on the present, and work towards a better future, and go living your life to the fullest. Divorce rule number 10, keep it to yourself. It's important to keep information about your financial status and good fortunes to yourself after the divorce. This means that you should avoid discussing your successes and financial gains with your ex-spouse, as this can lead to an increase in child support or alimony payments. During the divorce process, you are required to truthfully disclose your income, employment, and other relevant financial information. However, after the divorce, there is no legal requirement for you to keep your ex-spouse updated on your successes and good fortunes. If you share this information, it can be used against you in court to increase your support or alimony payments. It's important to remember that your ex-spouse may want to share in your good fortune, so it's best to keep it to yourself. This will help you to maintain control of your finances and will give you a better chance of keeping your hard-earned money and assets. By keeping information about your financial status and good fortunes to yourself, you can protect yourself and your finances after the divorce. Divorce rule number 11, think before you remarry. Divorce can be a difficult and painful experience, both emotionally and financially. It's important to take the time to reflect and heal before jumping into a new marriage. Rule number 11, think before you remarry, may not be a popular one, but it's a good rule to live by. Before considering remarriage, it's crucial to consider why your previous marriage ended and to carefully evaluate whether or not your new relationship is truly a good match for the long term. While it may be tempting to quickly rebound and move on, research shows that most marriages that result from quick rebound relationships tend to fail. It's important to remember that a good divorce lawyer does not want to see you again for another divorce. They want to see you move forward with a happy and prosperous life. So, take your time, think things through, and only remarry when you are confident that it's the right decision for you. Remember, a thoughtful and considered approach to remarriage is more likely to lead to long-lasting happiness and success in your new relationship. So, be smart and think before you remarry. If you found value in this video, consider showing your appreciation for my efforts by purchasing a coffee through the UPI scanner provided on the screen. Additionally, kindly consider expressing your enjoyment by hitting the like button and subscribing for future content. Rest assured, you will not be disappointed. Until next time, stay awesome.